Hello everybody and welcome back. Today I am going to be giving you my Scotland squad, who I think he's going to pick and who kind of a mix of who I would pick as well, for the Six Nations. Yeah, there is a few players who are injured, people like Freddie Douglas and Adam Hastings. I've put them in, small spoiler, just because I believe they're gonna be back. They might miss the Italy game, but that will really be it. So I think that they will or may well be involved later on. But yeah, one thing I would say is that this is Scotland's opportunity. I think Ireland, while not being out of the race or weakened, I think England are not as good as they think they are. And I think that France have got a few injuries, so if you catch them right, they could be interesting. So I think Scotland really do need to go for it this year. So yeah, let's just dive right into it and start off with number one. I've gone with Schumann, obviously. I think he's been starting prop. He's been the starting prop for 3 or 4 years now. He is deep in the Lions contention as well. Behind him, I've got Rory Sutherland. Fell off the radar for a little bit, but he went on the Lions tour in 21 to South Africa and then fell off a bit. But he's back. He's been playing well for Glasgow this season, so he probably deserves in. And then I've gone with Hurd as well, as he's kind of been in and around the squad. He's had a few token appearances and played quite well in them. So yeah. Moving on to hooker. Honestly, this is probably one of the more settled positions where you've got three standers out. Ewan Ashman, Johnny Matthews and Dylan Richardson. I think that's fairly well cemented that those three are the best three in contention. Johnny Matthews doesn't always make the squad. I don't know if there's issues between him and Townsend, but I struggle to see a reason why on rugby ability anyway he's not in the squad all the time, as in my opinion he's one of the best hookers in the URC at the minute. So, and has been for a while. Obviously, his try scoring ability speaks for itself. And yeah, Ewan Ashman been Scotland's number one prop for why do I keep saying prop hooker for a while. And Dylan Richardson, had a decent autumn, has been a kind of there and thereabouts for a few years and always been pretty consistently decent when he's been on the pitch. So yeah, so that's the front rows. Moving on to the hi guys, this is me editing the video a few hours later. I've just realised that I completely missed out three. I just went from talking about hooker to talking about second rows, so yeah, a bit of confusion there. But at three, I've got Xander Fagerson. I think he's definitely, he's Xander Fagerson. He's my three for the Lions currently. I've got Miller Mills and Nathan McBeth behind him. Both of them have been decent for their clubs this season. Both had good shots for Scotland. Neither of them I'd say are complete world class options coming off the bench. Would you trust them entirely if you were 2 points up against Ireland with 20 minutes to go? If they were coming on, would you go, I reckon we'll be fine? I think they'd do a job, but I would be a little bit concerned. I'm going to be honest. Not saying they're bad options or anything, of course, but just, yeah, that's one place where I would like a bit more depth for Scotland, but you get what you get, eh? But yeah, that's my three: Xander, Miller Mills and Nathan McBeth. I'll talk about second rows now. Second rows, I've got Scott Cummings, Max Williamson, Grant Gilchrist and Johnny Gray. A bit shorter here maybe, but Johnny Gray is out for the Italy game through injury, but he's expected to be back after that for the Ireland game, so I have included him, as I know he's not played for Scotland for a long time, but he is still a monster. He's ripping it up at Bordeaux, so yeah. Cummings and Gilco have kind of been Scotland's main locks for a few years, and nothing wrong with either of them. They're both grafters, both put in some hard work. And then Max Williamson, been really good for Glasgow, had a decent autumn and summer tour for Scotland, so yeah, I think he deserves a call up as well. Moving on to the back row now, I've got Jamie Ritchie in. I know a few people aren't a fan of him, his discipline and that, but there is good sides to him. His jackling is insane. You know, for the last 2 or 3 year or two, he has been the top turnover winner in the URC for Edinburgh, so not just for Edinburgh, but in the URC in general. So yeah, if he can fix the discipline, he's still a very good player. I have got Freddie Douglas in as well, as I think that more than anything else, he'll benefit to being with the team. He's definitely one for the future. You know, a lot of people are giving Scotland stick for not having any homegrown young players. Well, there's one right there. And I think that he may not get many minutes on the field, and I know he's injured for the start, but even put him on the bench for a game, I think he'll do a job perfectly fine. Moving on to 7, I've got Rory Darge, again a fairly well cemented player. He'd be my pick. He'd go in the Lions for me, Darge. He has been captain before. I wouldn't give him to captain. I'll talk about captain in a bit, but yeah, solid grafter. Josh Bayliss in there as well. He's been playing his best rugby recently. Bath, and then in the autumn, scored the try of the tournament in the Autumn Nations against Australia. And then back in number 7, a fan favourite and someone who's been tearing up for Edinburgh is Hamish Watson. Played really well against Glasgow recently, and has just been steady, kind of out of the spotlight a little bit in the last year or two, but still quietly going along, playing really well. And then at 8, no real surprises. I've got Jack Dempsey and Matt Fagerson. No real surprises there. Both of them have been around forever for Scotland and have been top players. Both of them for me also go on the Lions tour. I'm not saying start, but are on the plane. So yeah, that's my forward pack. I don't think there's many surprises in there. Moving on to the backs. At 9, I've got Ben White, Scotland starter for a few years now. Been playing well at Toulon, so yeah. I've got George Horne in as well. He's been tearing up for Glasgow. He's tearing up. He's up there for the try scorers in Europe. He's doing really well in Glasgow. And then Jamie Dobie as well. He's again another young one coming up and through. Although I feel like I've been talking about him forever, but he's only like 22 or something like that. Can cover wing as well, which is really good. For the depth. Moving on to 10, obviously the most obvious choice in the world, the best 10 in the world, and that's obviously Finn Russell. Vital for Scotland. He's Finn Russell, need I say more. I've got Tom Jordan in there as well. He obviously made his debut in the autumn, a vital part to Glasgow winning the URC last season, and yeah, can also cover at full back, a position where Scotland's not got the most depth in the world. I've got Adam Hastings in as well. Again, I know he's been in and out of injury, but he is good enough to be there. Just if he can keep himself fit, he has a really good 10. And then I've squeezed in Fergus Burke of Saracens, as mainly due to the fact that there have been multiple reports over the last few days that he will be in contention for the Scotland squad. He's chosen Scotland over England. He's chosen Scotland over England. Good, well done. He's seen the better team. Going on to the centres, I'll do the centres next. Obviously at 12, easiest decision in the world. My captain for the squad, as I thought he was a good captain in the autumn. Sione Tuipulotu, arguably the best 12 in the world right now. Tearing it up. Massive for Glasgow in their URC win. Massive for a couple of wins in Scotland. I've spoken about him multiple times. He's clear as day my 12 for the Lions. Yeah. Behind him I've got Stafford McDowell, a player for Glasgow who I'd probably say is unlucky not to get more game time for them than he does. He's behind Sione Tuipulotu and Hugh Jones, two of the best centres in the world. and I think that he is a really good centre. He just, if he moved, to another team, say went across to Edinburgh like multiple other Glasgow players would, he'd walk into their starting 15. I think he is a solid centre. I've got Hugh Jones. Speak of him, Hughie Pilotu, Scotland's stellar midfield partnership, still going really strong, still works well together, wouldn't split them up. I've got Cam Redpath in as well, in and out of injury, but again, when he's fit, he is a really good player. He shows his quality when he plays, yeah. And I've also squeezed in Matt Curry as well for Edinburgh. He's on a on and off season, I'd say, for Edinburgh. They're not too bad in the league, but they've had a few poor performances. He has been one of the few players who have been consistently fairly good. We'll move on to the back three now. I've start off dead easy. Best 11 in the world, Duhan van der Merwe. I know a few people don't like his defensive capabilities. I think they have definitely stepped up in the last few years. And I mean, he's 30 tries and 40 caps or something like that for Scotland. He scores, and I think it's 2 in every 3 games or something like that he scores. So yeah, you can't take him out. I've got Kyle Rowan there as well. Really good for Glasgow recently. Can cover fullback, which again I've said is a place of weakness for Scotland, especially in depth. And I've got Aaron Reid in as well. Again, had a good autumn, has been decent for Sale Sharks. On the other wing, I've got Darcy Graham. Again, top try scorer Darcy. Decent defensive capabilities. I mean, he's chasing Duhan all the way for that try record and can defend quite well. And I've also got Kyle Steyn, again a consistent winger. Scotland's best defensive winger, and quite a few people say Scotland's best winger. And then at 15, I've got 2 listed, but as I said, there's a few who can cover it. I've got Blair Kinghorn, again, easiest pick in the world. Since he moved to Toulouse just over a year ago, he's been phenomenal. And then to back him up, I've got Hazy Pazzy, Harry Patterson. Again, been on and off injury, but again, another young player who, on his day, can be really good. I mean, I think we all remember him playing really well against France last Six Nations. But that would be my my squad to go. A starting 15 from that would be Schumann at 1, Ashman at 2, Zander at 3, Cummings and Gilco 4 and 5. I'd have Jamie Ritchie, Darge and Dempsey 6, 7 and 8. Some people might put Matt Fagerson at 6, I'm also fine with that. 9 Ben White, 10 Finn Russell. Again, they speak for themselves. 11 Van der Merwe, 12 Sione Tuipulotu, 13 Hugh Jones, 14 Darcy Graham and 15 Blair Kinghorn would be my preferred starting 15, and then the others can fight out for the bench. But yeah, injury cover, all that's dead important. But yeah, I think Scotland's got a real chance this Six Nations. A few people are writing them off. I wouldn't. Yeah, I think France and Ireland are the 2 heads-up favourites, but I think Scotland are sneaking that 3rd spot. I don't get the England hype at all, crap. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed, make sure to like and subscribe, and until next time, I shall see you later.